Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Hopefully the audio is better in this video than the previous one. I did have somebody complain that they could barely hear me. I'm shooting mostly off my phone because I have a little burn spot, but I think we're going to be okay in this setting. So what do I have in store for you today? Today we have a Dewalt Premier. We are going to cover all the ins and outs, the pros, the cons, which Dewalt cordless tools that I like, which ones I don't like, how long it's taken me to build up the collection that I have. You're not going to want to miss today's episode. We are going to cover some things that we didn't cover in last night's Dewalt Premiere, and we're hoping to knock this one out of the park for you guys, so stay tuned. Want to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, JDTCo. Come for the price, stay for the show. Okay, you guys haven't checked him out, make sure to go down in the description. I'll put his channel link down below. He did send us two of these really awesome tool racks. I do have plans of hanging this one up here on the wall for the Dewalt cordless, so that way it makes for an easy grab. This one here is a wrench rack, pry bar rack coming soon. Make sure to download the app, JDTCo app. Download it. Lots of hot prices. You could shop by tool or you could shop by brand. Choice is yours. In order to keep you guys entertained and the ball rolling, we're going to be covering some corded, some cordless, some consumables, but I'm not just going to talk consumables for a whole lengthy part or a whole lengthy segment. We're going to cover consumables in between each of these products that I'm planning on reviewing with you today. First product up we're going to talk about is the Drywall screw gun DCF620. So I've had this DCF620 now for about a year. Did buy it on a promo. Meant to use it in the garage here to hang drywall. Really didn't need it because I had the atomic drill. I also had the atomic hex driver. The hex driver is currently at work, but I did bring the drill home for a presentation for today's video. But really could have just used the atomic drill, put on a little tiny Phillips adapter on here, and sent the screw in, right? But I was curious, wanted to try it out. No, this is not belt fed. You put your drywall screw here on the end, and the one thing I do like about it is that it holds the screw in place pretty well. One of the things I don't like about it is that if you're not completely centered or squared up, when you go to drive this individual screw in, the bit misses and doesn't quite grab. It kind of barrels out as you're driving it in, as you'll see in the video where I hung this one sheet of drywall up today. Alright, so you can see it wasn't really steadily balanced. I'm standing on a stool that's kind of pivoting while I'm trying to drive one in, but one at a time. My least favorite by far. But if you square up to it, it'll drive it in, okay? But if you're at an angle, for whatever reason, the tip just kind of barrels out. The other thing that would have been cool is if there was a belt feed option. Maybe there is an adapter sold separately. My Dewalt guys out there can let me know. But as far as a 5-star rating, how many stars would I give this? I'd give it a 2.5, maybe 3 tops, okay? But I would give it a 2.5 to 3 tops because I do feel like you could have just used a hex driver or drill driver. Really didn't need to get the individual drywall brushless DCF620. Okay, that's just my opinion. If there was a belt-fed version or an adapter, that might move it up to a 3 or 4 star. But like I said, the tip in here could have been a lot better in my opinion. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about a consumable that we did talk about last night, just real briefly during the live premiere. The Dewalt chalk line. I was making mention that when you go to wind it up, it doesn't quite center itself back to lock itself in. Me again, Dave was there. He said, hey buddy, all you gotta do is pull a little bit of rope out, cut it, retie it, and then when you go to snug it up and tighten it, should fit right on in there. Pretty simple fix, right? Not a big deal. This one, however, is an older version. So you can see the newer version, the older version. On this older version here, It locks in, it's got a nice little sweep, and how you do the chalk is it had this nice little window here that you just slid down and added the chalk. I did think that was pretty fast and convenient, and I really loved it. Wanted to try the new style out. The new style, you put the chalk in here on the tip, and you just simply pull the cap, dump it in the top, and retwist. So really by preference I like the older version, but some guys do like the other one. As far as binding, really didn't have any chalk bind, but yeah, you just give it a little tap and shake. You can move that chalk around, you can pull it all the way out, rewind it up. You should be good to go. So these chalk lines, I'm going to go ahead and give them a 4 out of 5 star rating. Love the old one over the new one. Just throwing that out there. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about another tool. Not really a consumable, but you will go through various staples from time to time. I was using this in the chicken coop. It does have a contractor belt loop thing that you could slide on in there. Fits great. It's comfortable in the hand. One thing that I don't like about, you can already kind of see here, but I'll take a picture of it, is that this little adjuster is kind of popping off. But from time to time, like on this first staple, it doesn't really staple true. I suppose it depends on what it is that you're stapling into, but most of the time you're probably going to be stapling into either drywall or wood. Am I right? So we have a block of wood here. We throw a handful of staples down. The other thing that I wasn't too thrilled about was occasionally it'll double feed or misfeed. And when it double feeds or misfeed, it's kind of a chore to put this thing back into action. So on the slide part here, you open it up. You can see we're kind of running a little bit low on staples. Just overall, if I had to give it a rating, I would say probably a 2.5 star, 2 star, okay? Not my most favorite stapler. There's plenty of other stapler options out there. I think pneumatic staplers are probably going to be more of a contractor fit. A handheld stapler for a DIY like this one. You can see now it's kind of getting squirrely that I opened it up and reclosed it. And each one of these staples is not really coming clean. So, yeah, 2.5 star rating. I think that's more than fair for this. You can have it on a 3-shot or single shot mode. I really don't know what the idea behind that was, because you have to still squeeze down the handle and put it into action. So, at any rate, that's the stapler sold over at the depot. Alright, last night we were talking about in the Premier Man, there's a lot of similarity between Dewalt and Stanley. So here is some drywall concrete knives, okay? My contractors can correct me on whatever you call them. I call them handy, okay? These things are handy to have if you're doing some drywall repair at home. And I'll show you up here on the ceiling as we're going to go ahead and make some cuts. But look, comparing it to Stanley, yeah, pretty similar, okay? Same amount of holes, same amount of length, same style of blade. Handle-wise, I do believe the Dewalt is a little bit longer, not by much. They did give you this little opening here at the end, so if you wanted to throw a D-ring in there or throw a piece of 550 cord, tie a knot, throw it on a D-ring, hang it from your contractor bags, you could do that. These things are handy though, man. And they're both equally as sharp. Yeah, we're not going to hand saw through the whole entire thing, but comfortability wise, I would tell you that the Dewalt has more of a lip and a placement for your thumb. Stanley, not so much. Stanley, of course, can be bought over at Home Depot as well as Walmart and everything else. So as far as this handy little handheld saw, whether it's Dewalt or Stanley, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. And the only reason being is because I like the little thumb notch a little bit more on the Dewalt than I do the Stanley. So pretty close in comparison. Right, even down to the color. A little bit lighter yellow, a little darker yellow. Some consumable options for you here. So Dewalt has these really cool wire wheels that you can pick up for your grinder. We're going to talk about grinders today, both the corded and the cordless one alike. We did cover the cordless in a separate video, so if you want the longer version, you can watch that. We're going to cover it real briefly here in today's video. Here's another wire wheel option for you sold by Dewalt. This will get into some tighter nooks and crannies, so if you wanted to kind of clean up the corner weld that you just got done doing, this is going to get into those tight spots. I felt like that was a really good purchase. So that's pretty much going to cover it for wire wheels. Look, there are plenty of options out there that Dewalt has in store for you. So if you haven't had a chance to check them out, check them out. Here is a product that I may return, and I'm going to tell you why. So this is the Extreme Subcompact DCS-312 Bravo, okay? This is a little tiny recip saw, Sawzall. It's a one-handed saw. I thought it was going to be handy. It does come in the 12-volt platform. I thought, hey man, that's pretty handy because I've got plenty of Dewalt batteries in the 20-volt. I don't really need the 12-volt. but it's 12 volt and I have a charger that says 12 and 20 volt. This will be great. I'll go ahead and pick that up. Problem is that myself and a handful of other people didn't know is that the 20 volts do not go on to the 12 volt tool. You would have to buy 12 volt batteries in order to utilize this specific product. That being said, I did not see any 12 volt batteries available at the Home Depot. Did not see any at the Lowe's. Was told that I can go onto eBay and order them if I wanted to. That's not really a good way to sell me on a product, which made me want to return it. There were a handful of people in the chats on Friday night that said, man, that's not the case. Okay, you can order them online through Home Depot's website still, have them shipped to your door. I'm not really sure what the big deal is about the lithium batteries. I hear that there's a lot of difficulty trying to get a hold of them. Maybe that has something to do with the pandemic. I have no idea, but the shelves are looking a little bit empty. The Den of Tools just uploaded a video basically showing a bunch of bare cupboards, okay, pun intended. But those cupboards were looking pretty blank. And when I was at Lowe's, yeah, it looked like they were almost out of HPT, they were almost out of Bosch. The only things that I saw that was plentiful was the Craftsman lineup, the Dewalt lineup, and the Cobalt lineup. But the Bosch, the HPT, even some of the Skill stuff, real minimal, okay? Battery options really weren't available. Went to Home Depot, they had more battery options available for Dewalt, not so much for some of the other platforms. So, just food for thought, could be an issue there. Okay, the Dewalt 15-ounce framing hammer. This thing does have a nail set. How have I liked using it? Look, overall, I think it's a fantastic hammer. I really do. It's comfortable in the hands, okay? I've had it for years now. I didn't really use it for framing anything in construction, a crew or anything. But at home, it has worked out great for individual projects. Like when I wanted to redo my patio awning. But comfortability wise, yeah, I dig it, man. Look, it's a comfortable hammer. 15 ounces is probably more than enough that you're gonna need, okay? Pulling it out, works great, okay? So if you guys are interested in the framing hammer sold by Dewalt, look, I don't think you can go wrong. I like the beam style, it's light and weight. There are a couple of different versions of this. You can get the one with the waffle head, or you can get the one with the smooth head for more of a finish kind of a look. So it just depends on what it is that you're looking for in a hammer. All right, here's another little consumable that you might like. The Dewalt Pack Stack, okay? This thing is pretty awesome. Inside here, I've got all the bits that I need. Number 2, number 1, I got Torx bits for days. This buddy pack system that they've developed is really cool. Easy access for your drill bits. Like right now, I'm gonna grab this 1/2-inch drill bit. We're gonna drill 6 holes with the hammer drill, and then we're gonna get into the Dewalt XR 1/2-inch impact gun, likes, dislikes, how long I've had it, and how I would rate it. So let me go ahead and set up the hammer drill for us. Alright, I just went ahead and removed our 8-amp-hour battery since it is fully charged from the fast charger. Let's talk about this fast charger. So this fast charger has a built-in fan for rapid cooling, for rapid charging, and it runs at 3 amps. There is another style of Dewalt battery charging system, which is this old school 1.5-amp-hour battery charger. It takes a lot longer for batteries to charge, especially in a little 20 volt. Initially, when I bought the Atomic lineup and I was utilizing these little 2-amp-hour batteries, I can tell you it seemed like it took at least an hour and 20 minutes for that little black charger to charge up one of these batteries from dead. Lucky for me, they gave me a few of them, but the unfortunate thing was I was burning through these 2-amp-hour batteries a lot faster than I thought I would, so it left me charging a lot and less time on the project. I decided to upgrade and buy some bigger batteries. So I have a 4-amp-hour battery that came with the 1/2-inch XR. We have the 8-amp-hour battery that came with a 3-speed variable hammer drill. And this is the DCD-998, which we're getting ready to step into here pretty soon. And then I got a 6-amp-hour battery as well that I picked up with the grinder. And I had another one that was a 4-amp-hour battery. I bought the 6-amp-hour and the 4-amp-hour in a battery pack for like 150 bucks over at the Home Depot on sale. We need to go ahead and pre-drill a hole. I have a 1/2-inch drill bit here. Now this, you hear that? That's me snugging that thing down. Really love that feature about the Dewalt drill. It's got a metal chuck, okay? It's not made out of plastic like the little Atomic. The little Atomic is made out of plastic. This too is a hammer drill, okay? But the Atomic has been phenomenal for me as a mechanic. I use it at work all the time for extracting bolts and everything else. But today we're going to be taking a closer look at the DCD-998. I've set it all the way down to its lowest setting. We are going to individually select different speeds so you can see what this thing can do from 1 all the way up to drill mode, all the way into hammer mode, okay? So here's speed 1, selection 1. Let's see what we're working with. So I think you get the point. Pretty slow go, right? We're going on setting 5, still in speed 1. Alright, way to get the job done, son, right? Let's crank her all the way up to 11 now, still in speed 1. Alright, so I thought that worked out pretty good. Now we're in speed 2, setting 1. Start again. I don't think it was meant to do that. Okay, let's go to 5. Okay, so do not be on the lowest setting on the medium speed. Just not going to work out well for us. Let's crank this thing all the way up to 11. Okay, so I feel like we're pretty much getting the same action depending on the setting, but I think the idea was to like lessen the torque depending on what it is that you're going through. Let's just go ahead and jump into 3. Let's go on to full-on drill mode. Shit, that made quick work of it, didn't it? Alright, let's go into hammer mode. Woo! Woo-hoo! God damn. I could use that setting all day. That's just fun, man. That is just fun. That doesn't get old, man. I was having a blast with this thing last night. You almost forget what this thing can do in speed 3 in hammer mode. God, that's exciting stuff, isn't it? Alright, we made quite the mess. We need to clean this thing up so we can run these lag bolts in. That way you guys can see the Dewalt 1/2" impact in action. Let me go ahead and grab our vacuum. We'll talk about this here for a second. So this is the Dewalt Cordless 20-volt vacuum 2-gallon, okay? You got a couple of different adapters. You can see we have one on here currently, but it does come in the handle, okay? Almost looks like the handle. Was kind of confused myself until I saw a little arrow. You pull it out, you have your nook and cranny adapter that you just put on, okay? Another adapter they give you is for more like carpet. So if you're cleaning out the inside of your car, you could use that. Or if you had some big stuff that you wanted to take care of and suck up into the old Catch-A-Rooski, gives you a bigger outlet right here. But for this one, I think we'll be fine. The little adapter that we got. Easy day, okay? Made quick work. Couple of things you could use this for. You could keep it at home on the fly for vacuuming out the inside of your car without having to drag 110 cord everywhere. Kids made a small mess in the house. Gonna take care of that, make that real quick work. If you're a mechanic like myself, this might come in handy because rodents leave nests all over, right? I was in debate. I kind of wanted to take it to work, to be honest, because I got a lot of rodent nests. Thing is, I also don't want to get oil and rat crap all over the inside of my personalized vacuum because I do plan on using it on the Jeep, and I don't want that stuff all over the Jeep. I also plan on having it here at the house because there's been a couple of times that my daughter, she really does enjoy these little cordless vacuums. She's loved the little Ryobi one we have hanging on the wall. So for that, we're leaving this here. But pretty cool, to say the least. Alright, let's go ahead and step on into the 1/2" impact driver. We got ourselves some holes. This is product number DCF899, okay? Now I bought this tool, bare tool only, 300 bucks. But on a promo with a free battery and charger, they gave me a 4 amp hour battery. Slop, yes, a little bit. Not nearly as much as the Milwaukee, okay? Last night I was discussing this a little bit further. I said the biggest problem I have with Milwaukee is that within a year, the battery slop was so much that I was losing connectivity with the impact hammer. On the 3/8 stubby, from time to time, it would give me the Knight Rider effect, lights going back and forth. Really quickly became one of my less favorite tool brands, no joke. I only had a few tools in their lineup. I still have a couple left here that I'm not over the top impressed with. I think the only thing that I actually like, a little M12 buffer, is probably the only thing that I've actually enjoyed having, and that's just for the motorcycles. But at any rate, one of the features that I do like the most about this, that I did make mention of as well, is that it has a detent ball style on the anvil. Why is that important to me? That's important to me because, as you can see, I'm using a chrome socket. A lot of people do not want to use chrome sockets for impact use. I don't mind doing it because I've been doing it for years and I haven't really had an issue. Should you use impact? Sure. Some impacts also come with a little tiny hole in the side, just like this socket that I have here from Cornwell, and it never wears out. The friction ring wears out. Can be a chore trying to replace it. If you have the right tool for the right job, of course you can replace the friction ring yourself. Most of the tool vendors don't want to replace the friction ring, so they want to send it out to get it done because they don't want to stab themselves or they don't have the right setup. So for that, I'm not an over-the-top fan of the friction ring style. We'll get more into that a little bit later on down the road. Let's go ahead and run some lag bolts in, okay? We might have drilled these holes a little bit too big. We try to find a different, smaller drill bit. These things are really cool, man. You just line it up, set it on down, use the bottom latch to lock everything in place, and you got yourself a really nice Dewalt stack system there. All right, back to the drill, right? So we had to get a smaller drill bit. Gonna have to re-drill some holes because the original holes that I drilled, not really good, okay? They were a little bit too big, so let's drill some new holes. Alright, we got a few different holes here. Let's go ahead and set up our lag bolts. Just get a thread started here. Get another one started here. I think 2 is going to be sufficient. Let's go ahead and run them on in. So whether or not you're using this for construction or automotive, look, it has been a favorite of mine, okay? Fairly light in weight, works out well for lag bolts, works out well for lug nuts, for flywheel bolts, works out well for drive shaft bolts, and even for fuel tank straps. So this thing has been quite the universal donkey for me at work. We are trying out the snap-on 1/2". That'll be another day. But overall, I have enjoyed this product thoroughly over the years. So 2 thumbs up to Dewalt for the 1/2" impact wrench. Gonna give that one a 5 out of 5 star rating, no joke. And so far as I've seen it with the DCD998, I'm gonna give that a 5 out of 5 star rating too. Might even drop it a 1/2 star only because of price. But I think once you start using it, you might bump it up to a 5 star as well. And the only reason why I say that is because having that 8 amp hour battery and fast charger for the price that you're paying at $280 is a steal of a deal. For those of you that don't know, if you wanted to buy just the 8 amp hour battery on its own, you're looking at 180 bucks. To buy the bare tool only, you're looking at 160 bucks. When you do the math, 280 sounds pretty reasonable, and you're basically getting a free fast charger. And like I said, that fast charger is pretty quick. It makes quick work of charging a dead battery up to full. Within 30 to 40 minutes, think you're going to be good to go. Okay, I had it on one cell the other day, and I think I had that thing pretty much all the way charged within like 25 minutes. So I'm throwing that out there. I think it's phenomenal. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. We're just going to touch base on this real briefly because I already did a video on it that I think you guys are going to enjoy. But let's talk about the Dewalt DCG413 real briefly, okay? I was actually pretty impressed with this, even with the 6 amp hour battery, even when we put in the 2 amp hour battery on it, okay? You did see some difficulty. Why the difficulty with the 2 amp hour battery? It wasn't made to produce the amount of work that this tool demands. So you're going to want to have a high amperage battery. We are going to show you another test today with the drill and a leading competitor in the industry that we're not even sure what this is going to do. Well, only my guys from Friday night will, but we'll get into that here momentarily. But touching base on it, do you absolutely need this cordless grinder? No, you don't, but it does come with convenience, and I'm going to tell you why. Here is the Dewalt. Now this is the DWE-4011. I've had this for years. Fabrication worked out great, okay? One of those things that didn't work out so great was these Warrior Cutoff blades. Really cheap, their consumables are going to go through them. That is true. However, most recently I picked up these high performance HP. This is a Type 27 beveled, made of stronger and better material, made a few cuts with this thing. Look, man, this thing is still like new. I was actually pretty impressed with it. We have not tried out Type 1 yet. We'll get into more consumable videos down the road. And then, of course, I also picked up this pack of the 1/4 inch grinding wheels because I do believe that whoever Dewalt had make their consumables, they seem to last a lot longer than the Warrior ones. But I think that's to be expected. I'm probably going to see it in the comments. Well, what'd you expect? It's Harbor Freight. What I expect is a fairly decent cutoff wheel that I can utilize that won't get burnt up as quick as these ones do. These ones do have a tendency of breaking apart as well. But the corded version, yeah, you'll have power for days, man. You can pretty much run a cord from any wall, from anything, and it's just going to work. But what about those times or those moments when you're out on the fly, maybe you're off-roading and you need a cutoff wheel and you have an onboard welder and you can't really plug in any 110 unless you have some kind of generator. That's where something like the DC G413 is going to come in handy. So I was really impressed with it. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 star. No joke, no joke. All right, now how about some competition? All right, we're going to be using one of the lead competitors out there on the market today and go head-to-head with the Mini Atomic. Both are relatively close in comparison in almost every single way, okay? This one right here runs at 0 to 450. This one runs at 0 to 450, okay? This one is the hammer drill in the Mini Atomic, but we are just going to go into drill mode, which is fair. We are going to have this leading competitor in drill mode as well. And I'm going to cover one specific feature that I enjoy the most, and that is the bite on the Mini Atomic. So when you want to tighten down, it has that little ratcheting mechanism, just makes you feel like on the inside, you're good to go. Now this one, there's no really ratchet mechanism. It just, you can feel yourself snugging it down, but no ratcheting mechanism to ensure that you actually got a decent bite. The teeth on them, pretty close in comparison, but we are in drill mode, speed 2, with a couple of Bosch spade bits, and we're just going to see how each one performs on its fastest setting. This one has a 2 amp hour battery. This one has a 2 amp hour battery. The batteries are both fully charged, so this is a head-to-head competition with these two drills, and we're going to compare. Let's do it. So in drill mode, it don't like it. Let's go ahead and switch to 22. The battery should be fully charged. We're going to verify that we have a fully charged battery. I feel like something just happened that was unexpected. Unless we burnt it out, I don't know. Okay, for sure, this one is fully charged. Let's go back into drill mode. Setting 2. I think we smoked it. Oh man, you can really hear her fighting. Golly. I think we toasted it on Friday night. Well, enough of that, huh? That didn't prove anything. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a chance to side-by-side compare. I'm going to use a drill bit now from the same exact leading competitor. Let's see if we can even drill anything with it. We might have broken this, to be honest, guys. We might have broken this Friday night. just gets hot. Hot. We might have to do a drill bit competition because we might have broken both these. There's a good possibility we broke these Friday night. Unintentionally, of course. Of course. Now we're going to try the black and gold drill bits from Dewalt on the Mini Atomic. Let's see how we do. Still cold to the touch. Still cold to the touch. Feels like it's still putting in a decent amount of work, so I don't feel like we burnt it up. But you know what? Let's just take this one step farther, shall we? Really want to show you guys just how important batteries are. So let's get rid of the 2 amp hour battery. Let's put on the 8 amp hour battery and start drilling. I'm running out of holes. Alright, so that was with the drill. Let's bust it back to the spade on the Mini Atomic. Let's go back to the spade bit. I'm curious, okay? It seems like the Mini Atomic's doing what it needs to do. Let's drill a couple with the spade bit. So it seems to handle that just fine with a 2 amp hour battery. Let's see if we have any increased performance with the 8 amp hour battery. Get it, Mini Atomic, get it! I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys, the Mini Atomic is no joke, okay? This is DCD-709. This thing is no joke. This thing is performing as if it is the 3-speed hammer drill DCD-998. This is DCD-709. Light and weight until you put a bigger battery on it. Works out well for me in the automotive industry like I had stated before. Overall, I find this to be a fantastic bargain at $99 with battery and charger. The leading competition, she gets really, really hot, man. Really hot. I don't feel like she likes being used anymore. We couldn't even use a spade bit on it. We tried. We could try again, I guess. Maybe we just had a fluke. Maybe it was just a fluke. Let's see. Nope. Okay, so some tools just don't work out, but that's all right. Moving on, let's go ahead and jump on over to the Dewalt Multi-Tool Ds-354. So this multi-tool does come in handy. A lot of drywall guys really like using this. A lot of framers like using this to notch out doorways. I got some screws here. I've seen people use multi-tools to cut the heads off of screw. Got 3 little drywall screws here that we're going to try to cut with this multi-bit blade that they have. And we might even try a couple of nails. Let's go ahead and give it a run. Probably not intended to use to cut that off. You know what was intended to use to cut the heads of nails and screws off, how about the Dcs-386 Sawzall, okay? Let's go ahead and put this big old bad battery on here. Now we have this blade on here. This is meant for wood, and I believe it'll even cut through some nails and screws. Let's see. Woo! That's dangerous. I really do enjoy a good Sawzall, I'll tell you that, and I don't think you can really beat the cost for this one, okay? This thing is amazing. I'll put a picture down here in the corner. If you guys are looking for a beefy Sawzall, get one. I have this over at work. I brought it home for demonstration purposes. Use it to cut exhaust, use it to cut certain hardware from the manifold. It just comes in handy, okay? Now that I went ahead and changed the blade over, because we were trying to cut through a drywall screw, I want to go ahead and try it out now with a fresh blade with the wood notch that we cut out with the Sawzall. So if you want to do a little wood project and get creative, or you want to notch your doorway, I think you're going to actually enjoy this tool. So this is Dcs-354 multi-tool. Look, not meant for cutting drywall screws and things like that, as you saw with the blades that we had. Think you're going to want to use a Sawzall for something like that. But multi-tool wise, as far as notching wood, might want to cut the drywall with it. This could be a great way to cut drywall. This thing was pretty cool, man. I used it for an at-home project. When it's on, it stays in go mode. I'm going to point you guys up here to the ceiling, and we're going to cut a hole. Well, I know what the guy means from cutting blind. Even though I have my glasses on, I still kind of got a little bit of schmutz in my eye from cutting a hole. But the exhaust fan that it has, for the most part, didn't powder me as bad as I thought. Let's get a little closer and more involved, shall we? Alright, dusting the competition, due out. Boy, we're having some fun today, aren't we? Alright, let's move on. One of my other favorite tools that I got in the Atomic series was this hot rod right here. DCS-571. Little tiny worm drive saw, okay? I actually love this thing, man. I was using it to build my chicken coop. It cuts really well. I love the way it throws the dust. Runs off the 2 amp hour battery. I'm sure you could put an 8 amp on here, okay? It's 20 volt. But look, check it out, man. Whoop, nails. Forgot we did that. Let's go this way. I really do enjoy the way it throws the dust in the other direction, okay? It's comfortable in the hand, it's light in weight. For a skill saw, I love this style. I got rid of my rigid circular saw with all the rest of my rigid tools and applied it towards the atomic setup initially. So I think I got like $300 or $400 maybe for all my rigid stuff outside of the nailers, which I kept. And then I moved my way into this and the drill and the hex driver from the atomic lineup. And I've loved having those. Are the first few Dewalt tools I picked up before the drywall, cutter, and a couple other things that you guys have seen here today. Alright, so what have we checked out so far? We've checked out the grinder, the drywall screw gun, the 1/2-inch impact, the worm drive atomic. We've checked out the 3 variable speed hammer drill. We've checked out the multi-tool. We've checked out the atomic drill in comparison with a leading brand product that absolutely got smoked in today's video. We checked out the Sawzall. We've checked out the difference between the 8-amp-hour batteries and 2-amp-hour batteries. We checked out their chock. We've checked out some of their consumable products, like the wire wheels, like the grinding wheels, like the cutoff wheels. We talked about their 110 corded beast here that I've been utilizing all this time. We've talked about the fast charger. We've talked about the vacuum. What we have not talked about is the fan, okay? So I am a fan, if you can't already tell, of this Dewalt stuff. So this one right here is a Ryobi Fan, and I've had this for quite some time, okay? I really can't complain about it too much. Out here in the garage works out great, but on the highest setting, she's fairly loud. And with this one right here on the highest setting, she's really quiet. Night and day difference. So especially if you're like myself, you spend most of the time out here in the garage doing stuff and you're filming and you want a quiet fan, something that keeps you cool like this one is for me, and not have it be overshadowing the audio. I love the Dewalt fan, it works out well. Another product that we haven't checked out is the Bluetooth speaker. So I do have this little Bluetooth speaker by Dewalt. We're going to actually hook up to this and check this out. And I'm going to tell you, so I picked this up because the Matco one that I originally had bought for my wife took a crap, okay? So it's trash. Now we have the Dewalt portable radio, portable job site radio. You can use any 20-volt battery with this radio. I'm going to go ahead and connect to it, and we're going to see how loud this thing is. Let's play a video clip of mine so we don't run into third-party copyright infringement stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and pick one of our more recent videos that we did, the Dewalt DCG-413. I had to wait for that commercial. Here we go. So I'm watching one of my videos. From volume all the way down to all the way up, I'll let you know when we're at max. I did not have any in stock. Give them a few days. So I was going to give them a week or two, maybe come back to it. Since I'm already down in the area, max for S&G purposes, I was like, man, it's still fairly kind of early in the day. So the Bluetooth speaker is plenty loud enough. So if you are worried about volume and not being able to listen to your tunes up on the rooftop or out in the backyard, worry not. This thing is also water resistant from my understanding. There's an auxiliary port as well as a USB charge port here. So if you wanted to charge your phone, you could do so on the job site. Pretty cool stuff. The Sawzall Blades. Okay, so I have the Sawzall Blades through Dewalt. They give you ones in metal as well as for wood. Comes in a nice little portable container, so that way there's blades not all over the inside of your toolbox. Awesome little thing to have. Something else that I thought was pretty awesome, bought this for the wife for a while back, is this Dewalt 90-degree angle bit driver. So as you're turning, as you have this connected to the drill and you're turning it, it's turning the screw at the other end for those tight corners. Cabinets, kids' toys, bunk beds. Okay, this thing's great. So if you haven't checked that out, I think this thing was like 15 bucks or something like that. A recent product that I picked up from Dewalt is their Chisel Set for wood, okay? They got some pretty nice striking caps here. Loved the handle. They felt good in my hands as I was picking them up. I loved how it had two flat parts here. because I figured that once I actually started using them, where is my hand most likely going to be placed? I got my pinky down here at the base, another portion of my palm here at the other end of the base, and when you have those two flat spots, okay, so I like it. Okay, I really do. I love the way that it felt in the package before I bought them. Now I've had a chance to actually use them here on camera for you guys, and I can tell you I love them just as much, if not more, that I got a chance to use them. Here's another thing that we're going to talk about, and then this is probably going to wrap it up. The be-all, end-all screwdriver sold over at Home Depot by Dewalt. The 6-in-1. I'm not going to cover all 6-in-1s. I'll tell you the things that stood out to me. Phillips flathead hook driver. Okay, so say you want to get decorative, okay, and you have a piece of drywall above you in the house, or you're in the rafters like this piece of wood here, and we got this Dewalt 6-in-1 screwdriver, okay. If I want to take out a drywall screw, I can, okay, or if I want to tighten it up, I can. If I'm also up here on the fly and I want to put a little decorative hook up in here, you take the whole entire screwdriver shank out. You find you a nice little spot to start your hook. Once you have it kind of started, once you kind of get it started, you use the handle portion here to twist it in. Like so. Alright, so like I said, look, you got a couple of different flathead options, couple of different Phillips options. You get the handle with the hook shank on it, okay. They also give you this little tiny magnetic collet, so if you wanted to do that, and then put your screw on the other end, it's supposed to help keep it magnetized to the driver so you can drive it in place. Okay, if you wanted to do it by hand. How gimmicky is this thing, or is it actually worth it? Look, I think I might have paid 20 bucks for it, I can't recall. I'm going to tell you, the hook part is the part that I kind of wanted to go for. I guess it was nice that I had a screwdriver flathead Phillips option, thought that was pretty cool, but what really drove me to this product was the hook portion of this thing. Way too much slop on the end of the handle in order to utilize it. But once you get it started, okay, if you get it started with the plier, what you're going to find out is that the pliers become uncomfortable, okay? So as you're twisting it, I constantly have to maintain pressure and adjust my hands. With this portion, as you're twisting it, it runs it in just fine if you're running it in through wood. So when I meant gimmicky, what I meant was trying to start the hook. Trying to start the hook with this never is going to work out. Do yourself a favor, drill a pilot hole, start it in by hand, or if you're putting it in through wood like we are here, start it with the plier, jam it in, get it started. Once it's started, this thing is actually freaking pretty cool. Okay, so the 6-in-1, now I like it, okay? Wasn't sure how I felt about it being up there trying to put it in. I was like, oh, this is gimmicky all to hell. But now that I actually got a chance to show you guys how to utilize the pliers, and then once it's started, then running it in, this thing is a hand saver, man. This is a lot more comfortable to do with my fingers than it is to try to twist and maintain constant pressure and grip with a pair of pliers. One more thing that I want to talk about real quick before we wrap it completely up. How about storage containers, okay? So this is a Dewalt storage tub that I picked up from Home Depot. This thing has got space for days, okay? Right now we're getting ready to see just how much space this thing has. Batteries and handles and everything included. it fits quite a bit of crap, okay? I'm not even gonna lie. So, inside, what did we all actually fit in here, man? I fit in a 6-in-1 screwdriver, an oversized drill bit, a battery, the wire wheel, safety glasses, the hammer, some chalk, drywall screw, with plastic, all the chisels, right? We tossed that one in. The drill bits from the black and gold. We have our screw bits and adapters. We have the Sawzall Blades. We fit in 1, 2 chalk lines, another wire wheel. We fit in the atomic saw. We fit in all the grinding and cutoff blades. We fit in the multi-tool. We fit in the grinder with the 6-amp-hour battery attached. We fit in the atomic drill with a 2-amp-hour battery attached. A measuring tape and the 90-degree collar attachment for the hex driver. That's a lot of tools to fit into one storage container. So, food for thought in case you're wondering just how much. Another likable feature about this product is if you wanted to lock it, you could. Now granted, if someone wants to break into it, it is made out of plastic. Another likable feature that they offer you is this handle. You push, you pull the handle out, and now you can wheel it and dolly it to the job site. Or if you're using it for a storage container inside the garage, it makes easy moving, okay? So that way you're not having to always pick it up by the handle. You can actually extend the handle out here and wheel it around. It locks it in place till you push the button, recollapse it, relocks. So for those of you interested in the storage container, I think it's pretty awesome. Another huge shout out to today's sponsor, JDTCo, okay? Come for the prices, stay for the show. And what a show indeed. I hope you guys subscribe to his channel and check him out. And don't forget to download the JDTCo app so you guys can check out the hot tool buys that he has going on over at the store. There's a pry bar rack coming, but if you're interested in these racks, he does have them for sale there as well. He has over 50 products that are his own products. So make sure to check out my boy Nick. I hope you guys enjoyed his content as well. That's all I got for this video. I gotta get to getting. See you guys later. Deuces.